Hello everyone and welcome to another review. I'm freshly back from Toronto, had an excellent time with the Fragcom guys. Fragcom Toronto, excellent time, figured might as well, let's go ahead and do a review. So today I have a review from you from the house of Tom Ford. It's the first Tom Ford that I'm going to be reviewing. It's a very popular Tom Ford. You may have already seen reviews on this particular fragrance, and it is none other than Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille. Here is the box, a very nice box as you can see. Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. It's brown with gold lettering kind of on the side. The top it says Tom Ford. Very simplistic box. The box actually doesn't come all the way down. This is actually where it goes. It goes like this, and that's kind of the design for it. The top slides off, and you have the fragrance, Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille. A very nice, elegant box. The top says Tom Ford, gold plated as well, and that pops off. The bottom sticker information, and that's Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille bottle. This fragrance was released in 2007. It is from Tom Ford's private collection. It's his more expensive line that's out there. He has kind of a less expensive line and a more expensive private blend line. This particular fragrance is from that private blend line. This is the 50 milliliter, and this retails for $195. Expect to pay $265 for the 3.4 ounce, and I believe he also has one higher size, 3.2 or 3.4, one of the two. He has one higher size of 8.4 for $475 as well. So it's a very pricey fragrance, and I'll list the prices down low for this particular fragrance. Now, the notes of this fragrance are very simplistic. They consist of tonka bean, tobacco, vanilla, cocoa, dry fruit, and sweet wood sap. So what do you get from this particular fragrance? Along with the very simplistic notes, you kind of get almost a simplistic smell. But despite the fact that it's very simplistic, it is very deep, very rich, and very, very telling and very powerful. So you kind of get wet tobacco at the very beginning when you spray the fragrance, along with a very subdued vanilla. Not really subdued in the sense that you can't really smell it, but the tobacco is really at the forefront. You really get an animalistic note, a very spicy note that kind of comes out at you in the very beginning. But as it begins to dry down, the tobacco becomes a little bit more smoother in that aspect, and the vanilla really comes up in the fragrance, and it becomes very sweet. It becomes sweet. You start to get a little bit more of a hint of woods in the back, as well as a little bit of, I get that dried fruit that kind of comes in. Some people say it smells like cinnamon, but what I get out of it, not really cinnamon, but almost a different type of spice that I can't really put my finger on. But the fragrance really remains just a very smooth tobacco and a very smooth and sweet vanilla that kind of remains throughout the fragrance throughout the whole time. And as it begins to dry down, what you're going to get from the fragrance is a very subdued, not as sweet vanilla with the tobacco still there. So hence, Tobacco Vanille, it really suits its name perfectly fine. As far as sprays go, I give this one usually 3 to 4 sprays, usually one to the head, to the shoulder pits, and maybe one to the chest for this particular fragrance. It's a very powerful fragrance that lasts a long time. Occasion, I give this one, as far as occasion goes, I usually wear this one to work or suit or tie occasions. That's generally only the thing that I use Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille for. You can use this one for a date fragrance. Some people have said it works well as that. But personally, I use other fragrances for that. I generally stick to that one particular occasion with this fragrance. As far as projection and sillage go, I give this one good marks for projection. It stays fairly well for projection, and for sillage, it usually hangs around your skin very well and leaves a very nice scent trail. That's very important. The sillage on this one is actually much better than the projection is. As far as longevity goes, this fragrance is a monster in terms of longevity. It lasts anywhere between 8 and 24 hours. On my skin, it's 24 plus hours. I'll spray this in the morning. It'll wear it throughout the entire day and go to sleep with that fragrance if I haven't taken a shower. When I wake up, this fragrance will still be there. So this fragrance, one more clarification. Even though it's still there, it's a skin scent at that point. So it's not like it's still projecting massively like some other fragrances, Montal Red Oud, for example. It's not like that. It becomes a skin set after about 12 hours for me. As far as season goes, perfect winter fragrance for me. You can also wear this one in fall, but this is a winter fragrance. As far as age group goes, a very mature scent. So I kind of give this anyone over 24 plus or out of college. I think you're perfectly fine with it. Any younger, you might be pushing the envelope a little, but if you can pull it off, all props to you. As far as what other people thought for this particular fragrance, that's pretty interesting. So let me go ahead and show you what people thought.
First initial smell, it smelled like cinnamon. Not too crazy about the smell in general. Kind of has it smells more like an air freshener. It's not terrible, but not like a cologne. It smells more like an air freshener. Doesn't smell very masculine. I'd probably give it a B-.
Not bad. It reminds me more of a potpourri. You know, on Mother's Day when you give your mother that gift basket from like Bed Bath & Beyond, and it has the potpourri in it. Smells like that. Scale of 1 to 10 for just the overall cologne. I would give it probably a 6 or a 7 on a letter grade scale. In terms of getting the women, I would give it probably a C+. I think you can do a little bit better in terms of getting women.
How about this one?
That one smells good. I like that. It's a little bit something that a woman would be attracted to, but I have a feeling that the scent won't last long. So because of that, just because the scent won't last long, scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 7, letter grade, a B+.
All right, I smelled it after it had been on for a little bit, and then I smelled it after a fresh spray. Definitely has that date night / workplace type cologne. It's not too offending. It does have a nice sweet smell. After I found out the name tobacco, I definitely smell some tobacco in it. It's really good. It's not offending. As far as letter grade, I'll probably give it an A-. And the only reason not an A because it doesn't exactly grab me like unique fragrances. I love fragrances too, so that's the only reason why, but it's definitely a great fragrance, and it could be a daily wearer or something.
Hi, I just smelled a new cologne from Tom Ford, and it's really a nice scent. I know it's unisex, but I tend to, it has a lot of vanilla and cinnamon. I think it might be a little too feminine for a man. It might be more for a female, a woman, for the scent. But it is a nice fragrance. I think maybe for your girlfriend or your wife, but it is a pretty scent.
Letter grade?
What?
Letter grade?
Letter grade? Oh, from A, B, and C?
Yeah. A, B, C, D.
I say a B.
Excellent. So now that you've seen what people have thought about this particular fragrance, you kind of got a mixed bag for this particular fragrance. Some people said that this fragrance wasn't masculine enough, that even though this fragrance is a unisex fragrance, that it's more suited for women, and that's primarily because of the sweetness in this particular fragrance. Other people have said, and a lot of people have said, it's also very non-offensive. Despite the fact that it's sweet, despite the fact that it's very powerful, it still comes across as non-offensive, which is very good on Tom Ford's part. They managed to keep it very smooth and very inoffensive at the same time. But it is a comment that people have said about this fragrance. One person even compared this fragrance to potpourri in that aspect. So very non-offensive. Some people said masculine. Some people even got cinnamon out of this fragrance. But overall, they did give it good scores. One gave it a B-, another one a C++, B+, another one an A-, and another one a B. So still gave it good marks, despite the fact that some thought that a man shouldn't particularly be wearing this fragrance. All right, so ratings. What does this fragrance get in terms of ratings? For scent, this fragrance gets an A-. This is a fantastic scent that I enjoy immensely. I cannot stress that enough. This is one of my top fragrances. Usually can be found definitely in my top winter list. Go ahead, check that out. I'll leave a link for it as well. For projection, this particular fragrance gets a B. It doesn't really jump out at people and project and go out and grab people, but it does excel in another area, and that area is sillage. For sillage, this particular fragrance easily gets an A. For sillage, this fragrance really sticks around and really leaves a scent trail and really creates almost a mist or an air around that particular person. As far as uniqueness goes, this particular fragrance gets a B+. Very simplistic notes, but despite that, you really aren't going to find that many fragrances that smell anything like this particular fragrance. You're going to find fragrances that obviously have vanilla and fragrances that obviously have tobacco, but none where the two are so meshed together particularly well. So for uniqueness, it gets a B+. For longevity, A+. Again, anywhere between 8 and 24 hours. Any fragrance that lasts that long, definitely an A+ in terms of longevity. As far as versatility goes, this fragrance gets a C+. Even though I wear this fragrance only for suit and tie, and only in the winter for that matter, you still can wear it for a suit and tie fragrance. For work or for a date scent, or for some people it could be their signature scent. But for versatility, I still give it a C+, because outside of work, I can't really imagine wearing it anywhere else, at least for me. As far as compliments go, this fragrance gets a C. I really didn't get that many unsolicited comments from this particular fragrance. I did get a couple unsolicited comments as I've been wearing this. I've had this fragrance for almost a year, but in terms of compliments, it really hasn't gotten that many compliments. So definitely a C. As far as overall rating for the fragrance that I give this fragrance an A-. This is one of my most favorite fragrances that I have in my particular collection, and you'll usually see it in the top 10 list that I put out. So if you have any questions on this particular review, or any questions at all in general, please feel free, let me know, get in contact with me, do whatever you have to do. Thank you, and just have a fantastic day and take care of yourselves.